Hello, Deb. How are you doing?
I'm doing I'm doing good. How are you doing? It's been a while.
Yeah, lots happened since the last time you were in
Ugh,
here.
yes. Lots of happening. Lots is going to continue to happening. I just I I said it before. Can we can we move on already? Can we go to the healing process of all this war? Can we I mean, this war I think is lasting longer than the war on terror that Bush talked about a long time ago, 20 years ago.
Well, they haven't rounded up these people yet. So until they dry up the money and round them up, it's going to keep going. It's going to get worse.
Well, interesting you talk about. We had this week was food share, and apparently there have been some new changes in how they account for the money, or not the money, but the type of money, the food that gets distributed. So people are scrambling trying to figure out the new rules with because food share here in the county, or yeah, and was being funded by USAID. And you know what the sad part about it is I actually read because so they have the box and they put some vegetables in it. They put some. I help bag some food, some you know like canned applesauce and I think what something else. Anyway, I was helping walk a lady with a baby to her car, and I came across where someone had thrown away the applesauce in the can. I mean, it was still in the can, it was still sealed, and I asked, "What do you want to do with it?" It says, "We got to throw it away because we don't know if it's been tampered with. We don't know who had it." And I mean, it's like, really? So, I mean, it's still, in my opinion, it's still waste because, yes, there are people that need the help, maybe need some, want the food, but, or need the food and they're going to eat it because they're hungry. But then you got those that take it and they throw it away. Good food. And there's no reason to. If you don't want it, give it to somebody else. It's just, I don't understand that mentality.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if you saw, I was talking about that. Some people are digging into that Antifa. They set up all the food and Section 8 and yada, yada, yada to feed, clothe, and keep your Antifa happy so that when you need your shock troops, they're ready to go.
Oh, yeah. It does not come to a surprise to me at all. If you want to do a dig, go into Feed Our Future. That's a Somalia. It's a Somalian-based food, kind of a food pantry. They've already had indictments on that. I started talking about that a month ago before before football season started, and there's already been some indictments. There's been, oh gosh, people have having to pay, I want to say over $1 million now, and it keeps it. What's even because it's tied to Elon Omar, and so because she was promoting this Feed Our Future, and it was all fraud, and there's a lot of fraud. I've been telling everybody we're no longer at the guppies. We're getting to the sheephead, the hammerhead sharks, because there are people getting not sanctioned, but they're getting indicted on some of these things. It just I found some others over the last week or so, have been indicted over fraud, and it's always the same: wire fraud, taxes, what's another one, and and mortgage fraud. They're basically the same scam over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, that I didn't even get into that yet, but that Omar thing. Remember a long time ago we talked about that Corey Mills. Where's he? Texas? Florida,
He's in
Texas,
Florida. Corey Mills is in
Florida.
Florida.
Corey Mills married the I mean, they're all cousins, but the cousin of a terrorist woman in a mosque by a radical imam. Then he broke up with her, and that's like not friendly. And he started dating a beauty pageant winner, I guess. I don't know. Something, can't remember. But anyway, supposedly he beat her, or she's suing him. So we're going to sanction or get rid of, kick Omar off. She's like on the intelligence committee. And 4 Republicans defected,
Yeah.
including Corey Mills. I mean, we're finding out so much about, I mean, the ones that are sleeper cell terrorist types or tied to terrorism or what have you. You know, who knows? Like Corey Mills, we also found out his, they're saying, or people are questioning, he said he was a sniper, I think, and he pretty much obviously wasn't. He's like a total fraud. And we're finding out a lot of things about a lot of congressmen and senators right now. Next week's going to be a bloodbath because the House passed a continuing resolution that everyone's just biting their tongue about through like the beginning of the next fiscal year. It's like through September or whatever. Anyway, the House passed it. It's basically the same plus money for defense, heightened social, secrets, security for public officials now that Antifa is trying to kill them all. And that was it. A clean CR plus this one added security for congressmen and officials. Apparently, they're trying to kill the press secretary. Now she has a Secret Service detail, Carolyn Levitt, and others. I'm sure that now that Antifa's camped out in front of Stephen Miller's house and writing curses and stuff in chalk on the sidewalk by his house, I'm sure he probably now has a detail, which typically none of these people needed security. But so anyway, that was the CR, and the Senate, Chucky Schumer and them are saying that they have this whole list of demands. We'll probably go over this tomorrow, but basically they want everyone to have like free health care through Obamacare, like extend all these additions that had happened because of COVID in Obamacare and a whole list of other things, or they're going to shut down the government. And so pretty much Trump came out and said, yep, I think we're going to be shut down. So that's going to get wild. You know, they're crazy because when Trump shuts down and only essential workers are working, you know darn well that when the government opens back up, if it does, you know, which is a whole nother craziness, that non-essential workers, they may just be gone.
Yeah.
So that whole wild scenarios, I forget what the deadline is on that, but that's coming. They're supposedly supposed to vote to keep the government open, and then Congress is going away for like a week or two again.
Well, the fiscal year starts October the 1st, so today's the 20th, so we got basically 10 days or 11
Yeah, that's
days.
like, yeah. And they were supposed to vote on this and leave. And it looks like the Democrats, I mean, they always say they're going to shut it down and then they don't.
Yeah.
But at this point, they're saying they're going to shut it down. And I mean, I don't think anyone cares. Like the whole shutting it down. I mean, Ted Cruz shut the Congress down when Barry had his barricades and he closed all the national parks and everything, thinking everyone would be just melting and it would be the end of the world. And we were celebrating. We were celebrating. So they didn't keep it up for long.
Yeah.
Because it was like that threat worked all through the 90s. Nobody cares. They want the government shut down. They hate the government.
Yeah. Well, the last time I remember was in 2017 when President Trump was trying to get the military funded so he could secure the border, and they, remembered Nancy Pelosi. And of course, it was all Republicans' fault. But I know whatever's going to happen. It is affecting the military in the sense of because that would mean that anybody on duty rotation who are supposed to go to their next duty assignments, that might delay their orders, and that might delay them being able to move into their new duty assignments, depending on what branch and when their rotation duty dates are up. So, so
Well, as
that's
far
gonna
as
it's gonna be fun. So there are gonna be some people affected. Probably, like you said, they'll get back pay. They'll get paid. It's just dependent on when.
right, I don't know, like it's hard for me to see, like it would have to be performative. I think at this point, I mean, the Democrats, I don't know. I mean, we do have so many traitors among us. It's just, I don't think they really think that the demands, that list of demands Schumer put out there, they can't possibly imagine that they're going to get that. So it seems performative on the one hand, but on the other hand, um, I mean, a lot of the senators that are Democrats are, in theory, there's grand juries out on them and stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys are backed against the wall. And if they close down, shutting down terrorist groups certainly would end up being essential.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, these guys would be sitting at home and, in theory, not able to do anything if he's taken down their money, he's taking down their shock troops. Supposedly, there's a bunch of grand juries out there. Uh, they're talking about now they've finished that investigation into the auto pen.
Mm-hmm.
So, people who think they had a pardon are not going to have a pardon. And it's really ugly. I mean, it's really no wonder that it's so dangerous now. I mean, these guys are firebombing TV stations. They're crying about Kimmel, which I didn't get to. More
Okay.
trannies, Islamic so-called furries, are bombing a news truck, and then an ABC affiliate got bombed today, I think, because of the Kimmel thing. Like,
And
who the hell is Kimmel? Is he like this? They're just using that as an excuse because they think
yeah.
they're going to get somewhere with the whole free speech argument.
Well, it's crazy because they're just. It's crazy that they keep blaming the quote unquote Republican or the right wingers for all these fire bombings. Prove it to them. But it's like, have you seen that meme about Obama's making a statement about I can't remember the statement, but the and excuse me. Oh yeah, he's according to his tweet, he's saying something about Jimmy Kimmel and Roseanne. Underneath it, Roseanne says, "Well, you didn't step in," or something to that effect. You didn't step in when they canceled me. How many
Right.
people? I mean, this whole. I mean, I sit there and listen, saw all that garbage. What about free speech? Oh yeah. What about free speech? You mean the free speech that Roseanne Barr? Uh, they canceled Tim Allen. All these people that got canceled in the last 10 years because they didn't go along with the narrative, and now you're going to yell free speech. And oh, by the way, how many people under President Trump have been arrested for free speech? Can you
Right. It
put?
has nothing to do with that. The reason is because the Democrats have statistics on how to split the Republican, if the whatever, I think Reagan used to call it the three-legged stool. You have the libertarian free speech types, you have the um religious people, and then you have the Chamber of Commerce business people. And so pretty much everything they're doing at any given time on any day, every word that comes out of their mouth is trying to pull one of the legs out from under our three-legged stool. So earlier this week, Israel, 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 which splits the certain types of Zionist Christians, which a lot of churches are all about Israel. They give money to the Israeli cause, etc., versus everybody who is not a Zionist. And I mean that in the sense of people who believe that the Jewish state should exist. I don't mean Zionists in any derogatory way. And then now they're doing the free speech thing, and a bunch of prominent Republicans who are libertarian leaning type people are actually very, very angry that people canceled people, which I'll go into tomorrow, um, because they cheered Charlie Kirk's death and because of this Kimmel thing. And it is peeling off Republicans who are civil minded people that are into free speech as being sort of their top issue. So they're just playing with they're trying to break the stool. They're trying to just come up with one thing after another that's pulling one of those legs out from under the stool. It's so obvious. It's so formulatic. The 4 a.m. talking points. I mean, everyone runs out. I mean, I get up early here and it's already out there. Every single one of them with whatever the thing of the day is going to be. And it's always just trying to wedge. I just showed Antifa, and they all have political science degrees, probably from really expensive Ivy League universities, talking about they have to come up with a wedge issue really fast out of this Charlie Kirk shock. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah. To me, I think it's all a big distraction. For me, that's my opinion. It's all a big distraction to keep everybody fighting. If you're fighting, then you don't know what's going on behind the scene. Because you're trying to get your point across. So I don't know. I get to the point where I just don't even want to deal with stuff like that anymore because it's, in my opinion, it's just like I said, it's a distraction. There are things happening, and for people to, I don't know. To me, I find it nauseating, the whole issue. So.
Yeah. Well, I still feel like if I point out things on this live stream and if I point out things on social media, that if we could learn to recognize what they're doing, other people can too. It's just no one ever pointed out to them how the game is played. They actually think there's parties. They actually think parties stand for something. They actually think issues that make everyone fight organically are bubbling up, and none of that's entirely true. It's only partially true. So I'm happy to try to educate people. Someday I'll give up and retire from it. But for the moment, I figure, I occasionally get an encouraging word. I occasionally actually get legit questions, even on Twitter, where someone asks me, what do you mean by that? And I explain it to them. People I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I occasionally get a question from people I don't know, or even people I do know, that's an actual legit question and not nonsense, I am happy to show people stuff, and they always thank you. So as long as I get that little Scooby snack every once in a while, I will keep at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been saying for the last, week and a half, I said we need to get rid of, and I've said it before though, we need to get rid of the bot forums, because if we could get rid of some of these bot forums, we can maybe actually have intelligent conversation. But these people that are out there on social media just repeating the same old 4 a.m. talking points, and you might, that's where I get frustrated, is the people that spout the nonsense, and you can't reason with them. I actually had to shut somebody down. I kind of sort of shut somebody down, and I see the same bot or the same person over and over again spouting the same thing. It's like I shut them down because they were like, "Oh, in California, you gotta show ID when you're registered to vote," and I'm like, "No, you don't. I didn't." So it's like, "No, you don't." So it's you got but I mean, I don't want to tag them because I don't want to give them the money if they're getting paid, and well, so it just, I'm hoping we're going to see, because we got, like I said, we got the fiscal year starts October the 1st. So hopefully a lot of stuff in the next 10 days will come out and people will start questioning things more and start opening their eyes to what is truth. And I get it. I mean, we're in an information war, and sometimes we're being lied to too. But it's like use critical thinking, use your brain, and just don't don't be tunnel vision. Don't have a tunnel vision. Don't be so focused on one thing that you're missing everything else around. You know. So I'm reading some of chat right
I was
now.
just looking, someone put out here, apparently Trump put out, I don't know when this is from, yelling at Pam Bondi on a post. Did you see that?
Well, apparently he's done it a couple of times, so I'm not sure which
I'm
one
looking
you're
at one that
thinking.
says, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially the same old story as last time. All talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him. And there is a great case and many layers, and I think it's supposed to be lawyers. So he left the W out, Q guys, and many layers, and legal pundits say so. Lindsay is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. Oh, please don't tell me that's Lindsey Graham. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They're, they impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times, explanation point, over nothing. Justice must be served now with 3 explanations points. President DJT, which is a whole thing with DJT and the Q posts. So the Q people will be busy tonight. We're missing a letter and the signed DJT.
Mm-hmm.
But Trump's had it, man. I mean, Charlie was like a son to him.
Yeah.
I mean, Pam Bondi and these people who think this is politics as usual, it's like, is it the lip injections? Does that silicone go in their brains? Oops, I shouldn't have said that. That's really mean. But for crying out loud, do you not see what's happening? Oh, it's so annoying. I can't take it.
Well, remember President Trump's got gatekeepers, so it's like who's the gatekeepers? But also, I imagine he's getting word that the people are finally getting to the point where they've had it. I mean, people want to see things. They want to be able, no matter what's happening in the background, people want to be able to see results. And they're not seeing results, so they're getting frustrated, they're getting angry. And, there are people out there ready to rebel, and, for the most part, uh, you know, whether you want to say conservative, right, left, right wing, those that have been restrained from what to do, what they, part of them probably really would like to retaliate in the same manner as they've been attacked, but they've restrained themselves, and people are getting frustrated. I mean, I see some of these well, I don't know if they're influencers, but I know some of the people I follow. They're like, you know, when is enough is getting to be enough. You know, people want to see action at this point. I know after Charlie, I was like, I want the I've been saying it, I want the shock and awe, but not in the sense of going out and shooting things. I want the shock and awe. I want to see the arrest. President Trump says we have it all. We have them all. I know you got to get rid of all these activist judges. These judges, speaking of judges, the judges that aren't even born in the United States. What is that all about? People want to see something. And that's the shock and awe I want. Let's go ahead, round them up, and let's arrest these people. And I mean, if there's all these sealed indictments and these people are actually involved in these sealed indictments, I think for me, one of the biggest wasted time and money is all these committees and these subcommittees and these investigative committees, especially when you have people like Ilyan or Omar on an intelligence committee. What in the world is she on an intelligence committee for? She's not even a U.S. citizen. And people are getting angry. People are frustrated. So I think
Yeah.
people, that's the thing. And I think he's seeing that. He's seeing that on the American Pulse. And, what Kash Patel was in Congress this week. I think Bondi was in Congress this week testifying. Well, stop. I mean, are they saying that Congress is tying their hands so they can't move anything until Congress says, okay, release the hounds? I don't know.
They were testifying because it's a congressional thing that before the end of the fiscal year, you come in theory, those hearings are supposed to be about that Kash Patel would come in and say things like, oh, well, we have new mandates for counterterrorism, and so I need 10 billion more dollars or whatever. That's what's supposed to be talked about. But everything's just everything, TV just ruined TV, and now social media have completely ruined Congress. But it's almost like we have to have it, but they just all go in there to make a point, like some gotcha point, and it's retarded. I just don't imagine that that's going to keep going on because, really, honestly, younger people in that, they understand gotcha, and they're not tricked by it anymore. So, uh, I hope that changes fast. I mean, they should actually be doing the business of government. Forget about, yeah, theatrics, Mac Mama. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino supposedly stepping down. That other guy's going to step up. Maybe that'll help. Bongino, I don't know why they offered him that job. I don't know why he took the job. He was, for that kind of, person, I think worth a lot more doing his show. He's not a lawyer, and just about everything in the FBI is just not street cop, Secret Service type work. It's lawyer garbage. So, I mean, I'm sure it was difficult. Plus, he seemed so miserable crying about missing his wife. He had cancer, everything. But that's okay. You know, we'll plow forward. I would assume that Rumble will give him his show back. This other guy that's going to replace him, supposedly good and a good lawyer. And they just need to start rolling, man. I mean, Cash was, I didn't talk about that hearing, but it was crazy. But
Yeah.
anyway, I got to get going. But before I go, you'll be proud of me, Deb. Believe it or not, are you sitting down? I played a Kim Clement thing.
Uh-huh.
And there's one that fits with Erica Kirk. I don't know if you saw that floating around. But
I I saw it. I didn't really pay attention to it.
yeah, I never do that prophecy kind of stuff, and I know people love that, and it's just kind of, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna play that, even though I said I would never ever play anything like that. It was kind of weird. So, anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's gonna be a hard day. Charlie Kirk from 10 a.m. or whatever till probably 9 at night.
Yeah.
If you want to watch, you can watch Kirk all day for 12 hours if you want to.
No, my concern about the whole Charlie Kirk, and I know he was important. He's important to a lot of people. It's like I said, Charlie Kirk. I don't people think realize how much of influence Charlie Kirk had over in the not just the United States but worldwide. I mentioned on Thursday morning the reason why Charlie Kirk was in uh, Korea, South Korea, is because the the Democrat president that stole the election, that got rid of the previous president. He's been arresting. He's been arresting a pastor and there's a young lady who basically started her own equivalent of TP Turning Point. She started her. She's kind of the Charlie Kirk of South Korea. She's been in contact with South Korea. He went over to South Korea with Pastor Rob, who is, Charlie Kirk calls him his pastor because I went to that church. And so Charlie Kirk was in, because he was trying to see what they need over there to help combat some of the corruption, and basically he was talking with her. And so he did that. It was not a planned trip to South Korea. It was actually a spur of the moment trip. It was one of those that this young lady had talked to Pastor Rob, and she asked if he would be willing to go. And Pastor Rob was like, I don't know. I don't think so, because he was already going to England. And he said he could ask. So Charlie Kirk went to Korea to meet with her, and they're basically needing, they're, trying to fundraise, but they're needing about $1 million to help.
Right. This is another thing that probably there were people like the CCP big mad. Because not only did they've closed church. So South Korea's very Christian because of its history. They've closed churches. The former first lady is starving in a jail cell,
Right.
not expected to live. May not actually be alive because I reported that her pulse was all the way down last week.
Wow.
The former president, I believe, is in jail. The CCP took over South Korea, basically. Yeah. And so he was in South Korea and Hong Kong. And he went there with Steve Bannon's daughter, Maureen Bannon, and a bunch of people from War Room. And so War Room has was tied to all that whole network of the new federalist state of China, which were the people, the dysphoria breaking away from these Asian countries trying to save Asia. And so Steve Bannon was in Utah this week doing his own investigation, and I could tell by the way he was talking, he had a bunch of former military with him, et cetera, et cetera. And this has got to be really hard on Steve Bannon because some of the really kind of questionable things that Charlie did in the end were based on his relationship with kind of groups that are associated with the worldwide populist movement. I'll just put it that way. Anti-CCP kind of stuff. And I don't think that helped Charlie either. So Charlie was dealing with a CCP issue, the Israeli PR issue, big donors, big mad issue, and who knows what else. And I don't know, man. Somebody called up Antifa. I didn't even get into yet crowdsource the truth, and I am Cullen. According to a video they made, I woke up this morning watching them on YouTube. And according to what they're saying, they're getting calls from Homeland Security again based on their work about drones. and a military drone platform plane that were flying overhead of Charlie Kirk's event. I mean, this thing gets deep, really deep. I
Well,
have no idea if those two are total charlatans and liars or not. I've always wondered about that because of the whole nonsense with uh Webb, with what's his name? I can't think of the first name, Webb, and all these other people. Like, I don't know if they're all intelligence agents too, just making the crap up, in which they could be. But man, you watch the video, that sure looks like a drone flying over that event. One of the drones obviously was Turning Point had a drone with a camera on it to show the crowd.
yeah.
But the other drone looks like a military drone flying over there.
Well,
So
now,
I don't know. I mean, there's a
well,
lot of people in this world that do not want people to wake up in any of these countries.
yeah. Well, I do know, and I
George
can't,
Webb.
Of course, I can't speak for all military bases, but I know the bases here. 2 weeks ago, they mentioned that there was going to be some quote unquote trading maneuvers. Uh, I mean, and that was released to the public, but there were going to be quote unquote training maneuvers. So people were going to see and hear a lot more uh, aircraft activity. So I don't know if that is part of it or not, because I mean, you'd be surprised where, depending on where the base is, where some of these airplanes or even the drones can fly. So I don't know. I can just go with what is public. I don't know anything beyond what is public, but knowing, being part of PSB and listening and listening to other people, you kind of get an idea there's more going on than what the public is told, even in.
Well, I know that the digging matters because we went from the people I did talk about today to them being defunded by the State Department within 8 hours.
Mm,
So all the people out there digging, you know, gold pepes to you, because people are watching. In fact, people will now tag you, like from the Department of Justice and stuff. And within an hour, things are defunded. So all the diggers in that, you are in the info war. And now that we have the Trump administration and a couple good guys in the FBI and DOJ, especially DOJ, they're reading what you're doing and then things happen. So we live in a new world,
I have
which is a good thing.
I have to keep a low profile just because what my daughter does, but I'm always afraid they're going to turn me away at the gate because if something gets tagged or I get flagged on the gate, they may not let me come on base anymore.
Yeah.
I actually got pulled over outside the base, but luckily it was something minor, like my license plate light was burned out on my car, so I had to replace that. So, but so I have to kind of keep my nose clean, so I can't. And because, you talk about getting censored and everything, and this whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, working with the school district, working with the county, they tell us every training, social media, make your stuff private, be careful what you say, don't let the kids know because they will dig, they will find you. They tell you all the time. So these professors and everything, they're getting fired and everything. They tell you that all the time. I mean, and this is California, remember? And they tell me all the time, be careful what you put out on social media. And, of course, they're like, wait, we can't tell you not to. But the kids, you got to be careful what you put out. They say don't go out in your uniform. Don't go, be careful where you go when you go in the uniform. I'll go to the store because I'm off of work, but, I probably shouldn't. But it's like I'm not going to go home and change unless I change into into some street clothes before I have to leave. That may be what I should do. But I'm like, usually I'm in and out because I'm on my way home. But yeah, but that's one of the things they tell you. Do not put out anything out there on social media, and be careful what you do if you do. So,
Alrighty, I'll see you guys later.
okay.
Have a good show.
Yeah, thank you, Erin. All right.
Bye.
Bye. This is On the Wing and the Prayer, everybody. So let me go ahead and let me get the show notes up. Give me a 1 in D-Live. Hey, by the way, D-Live, I am no longer able to do the D-Live app because they want me to update on my app's not working on my phone. So I'm having to, it's really hard to see chat on D-Live. I've tried chat on D-Live, chat on Rumble. But anyway, so give me a 1 if you're going to stick around. This is On a Wing of Prayer, and I will be right back. Hold on a second. I think I'm really right back. It's so nice to be able to talk to people. Get that. All right. I'll be right back.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand an evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all of the fiery darts of the wicked one. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all the perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, and willfully so, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Amen.
Thank you, please. Father God, I ask now for an impartation of your Holy Spirit. May the Spirit of Jesus rest upon President Trump, that he be anointed with wisdom and understanding, with your counsel and might, with knowledge and fear of the Lord. And accordingly, may President Trump not judge by what he sees with his eyes, or decide by what he hears with his ears, or lean on his own understanding, but may he recognize your prompting and move with your guidance. I ask that you give the President supernatural discernment to know who is trustworthy and who is not. Bring into the light all deception and intrigue. Expose and reverse the plans of those who would harm President Trump and this nation. In the name of Jesus, I break up all voices and influence that do not come from you, Father God. May your truth and peace surround and reign in the White House. God, you have raised up President Trump to govern at a time when there is a resurgence of oppression. Only you, Lord Jesus Christ, can anoint him to have victories over strongholds and to establish justice for the needy. Give him strength and courage to persevere in the constant battle that surrounds him and refresh him. Father God, I see that you have such a tender heart, President Trump. Draw him close to you. I ask now for an impartation of hunger for you, so that he may love you with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength, and delight in knowing you. And if he came and whispering your name, may he go forward shouting your name. In Jesus' name, in the name of my King, I bless you.
Okay, everybody. Okay. This is On the Wing of the Prayer, and I know, I already said that already, right? Let's see. I want to make sure. So, how is everybody this afternoon, this evening? This is On a Wing of Prayer, singing on Patriot Soapbox, Thursday mornings from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern. Adjust for your time zone, and 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern, again on Saturdays, just for your time zone. And let's see, who is out there that I can call on? I don't see a lot of ones out there right now. I see hearts, I see Pete Dizzle, Good Vibes, Kitty Q, Rock and Roll, Roses Star Bright, Alan 101, hey, Zap. Alright, and so I haven't been around for a while, and probably next couple of weeks, so. But gosh, it's hard to believe, a month ago. So this was our fourth game of the football season. So football season started a month ago, 4 weeks ago. So gosh, it's hard to believe it's already end of August. It's October's just around the corner, which means we got Thanksgiving, Christmas is coming up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just starting to get caught up. And so for those who didn't know, a couple of weeks ago, my grandson in one of 2 weeks ago, in fact, two Saturdays ago, he got his brain scrambled. He had a head-on collision with another player, and so he got a concussion. So he's been out for the last 2 weeks with a concussion, and so I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just like when he played baseball and got hit in the nose. He was so aggressive, and that's a traumatic experience. So anyway, at the football game today, I want to show you this. So I'm kind of going to start with something that I don't think people are understanding, and this is something I'm gonna get some other videos. This is just, oh, hi, omnidirectional. Who else do I need? Well, if I could find, unfortunately, I may not be able to see you guys, but I'm gonna share this. So this is this field behind the football field, and this is popping up. Can y'all see that all right? This is popping up everywhere around my area ever since July when they did that raid on that pot farm. This is popping up, and I'm not sure, maybe someone, if you're a farmer, maybe you can explain, is this something to be alarmed about? But these are popping up everywhere. And I don't have any sound. I'm not going to put any sound, but I mean, look how vast that is. That used to be it looked like crops. You could, it was all green crops, right? And it's not that anymore. You're seeing these kind of things just popping up. Look how vast that is. Look how big that is. And I'm like, what is going on with our farmland? And I mentioned Thursday morning, I'm like, you know what? Think about the pot farms. Where, what are they, if they're growing pot, where are they growing the actual food? I got another one here too. So it's like, really, where are, let's see, this is the other one. And this is just the same field, but it's kind of at a different angle, so you can get. I mean, it's just popping up everywhere. All right, this is not as like I said, this is just at a different angle. But they're popping up everywhere, and it's almost like they happen overnight. And so where are they? Where's the food? Where are they growing the food? I don't know what to make of it.
On the possession recovery.
I don't know what to make of I don't know what to make of it, really. But that's the same field, just a different angle, so you can see, kind of get an idea how big it is. No, they're not. There's not even. It's all on the ground. You think it's a strawberry? Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I've never seen that many strawberry fields out here. I mean, yeah, there's strawberries here, but is that what that is? Like I said, if you know, tell me. But I'm not seeing anything either. I'm going to get some more so y'all can, okay. I mean, like I said, but the thing is I've never seen this before now. Even with the strawberries, I've never seen, but they're popping up everywhere. It's not just, okay. I mean, if it's nothing to be, maybe it's nothing to be alarmed about. It's just that I've never seen this many. That is a strawberry field. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to start getting, okay, organic, okay. Okay. Yeah, I know Oxnard does, but I've never seen them like this before. That's the reason why I'm like, wow. And I am going to get some more pictures of some other places, because it's like I said, it's like once that raid took place, everything is just, I've been pot taken in my youth of steam. I'm just saying, it's just the first time I've seen all of this. Yeah, I knew that Oxnard had a lot of strawberry fields, but I've never seen anything like this in the 3 years we've been here. So, because like I said, they're not doing it the same way that they had been doing it. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Because I wouldn't be making a big deal of it if they hadn't been doing this all along, from what I can tell. And they're just really ramping up, I guess, the strawberry fields then. It's just really weird. Maybe, yeah, I would agree. Hopefully it is a good thing and we're getting back to getting back to growing our own food, not import it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I need to do a property search to see um, exactly what is. Oops, I can't do that. To see who owns this land. Um, so where can I go? I mean, I know everybody is. Talking about Charlie Kirk, freedom of speech. I shared this Thursday. I'm going to share this again, and then I'm going to share another part of that. So here we go. This is a repost from this is a repost from Facebook. So, freedom of speech primarily protects you from legal penalties from the government for your expression, but does not shield you from natural or social consequences from other individuals or groups. This distinction is key. While the government can't imprison or sue you for expressing an unpopular idea, unless it incites violence or falls into another unprotected category, others can criticize you, terminate your employment, or ban you from their platforms. I mean, how many people got banned? We've been shadow banned. Sometimes I think I'm getting suppressed on Rumble, and it's like, I don't know why. I don't have that many people following me on Rumble. I mean, I've got 32 followers on YouTube. I'm just now starting to see people start finding my Bible studies on YouTube, and I'm getting 2 or 3 views, but who knows? Hopefully Rumble will, not Rumble, but YouTube will pick it up. But I really feel like sometimes I'm wondering if I'm getting suppressed because of the algorithms and stuff. I get comments says I like your stuff, but I can help you. But my thing is, whenever I go to look and kind of dig behind them, they just now started Rumble or looking into Rumble, and are they going to charge me? I do all of this on my own. I do it for free, and so are they going to charge me? So freedom from government consequences, legal protection. In countries like the United States, freedom of speech means the government cannot censor or punish you for your views. Oh, you mean like the grandmother, 72-year-old grandmother that got put in jail for praying at the Capitol? You mean, how about who else? How many other people have gotten put in prison under a different regime, a different oops, that's me. So anyway, I'm between reading, I'm looking at chat. So if I go silent, that's what I'm doing. Unless I get kicked off of Zoom. But anyway, let's see. Why it matters. It allows for public criticism of the government and the free exchange of ideas without fear of state reprisal. How about Tina Peters for questioning the machines in 2020 election? How many people got banned from social media? How many got, look at, like I said, PSB, we got kicked off of Facebook, we got kicked off of YouTube, we got kicked off of Twitch, we got kicked off of Periscope, what was the other one? Of course, Periscope went to something else, got bought out, went to something else, and there was a Tovo or Monto, I don't remember. It's been so long, so I don't remember all their names. So anyway, let's see. Exceptions. This right isn't absolute. Speech that incites imminent lawless action, defamation, or obscenity may be restricted. Why it matters. It allows for public criticism of the government and the free exchange of ideas without fear of state reprisal. Freedom from natural social consequences. Individual rights. Other people and private entities have their own rights, such as the right to associate with whom they choose or to hold their own beliefs. Non-governmental actions. A private company can fire an employee for speech unrelated to their jobs if it violates company policy. Again, as I was saying, telling Erin before she had to leave, I was told every time I have training, watch out for your social media, be careful, don't put anything out there. Yeah, exactly. Tina Peters. Social pressure. Individuals can respond to speech by criticizing it, disagreeing with it, or refusing to associate with the speaker. Yeah, but that doesn't, and how many of the opposite will just bully you and call you names? I mean, that's all they can do. They don't disagree with you. The first thing they'll do is they'll call you all sorts of profanity. And I mean, I don't like it when the other side does it too. If I agree with them, I think that's wrong too. But it's kind of like they throw the first punch. Doesn't mean you have to punch back with the same profanity, but the other side throws the punch first. Most of the time. I've seen it where it's the other way around, and I don't agree with that either. Platform rules. Online platforms have their own terms of service and can remove content or ban users who violate them. This is the reason why it's especially for DLive, people get upset when we say, hey, we're going to ban you or we're going to time you out. And people scream free speech. But the truth is, if we want to keep PSB on DLive, where we get, most people like to go for the stickers, if we're going to keep PSB on DLive, we've got to go by their terms of service. That means if you're using profanity and you start getting into an online fight, it's up to the show host to protect PSB. That's what I'm going to do. If you want to scream First Amendment and everything, hey, if you want to protect PSB, then don't do the things that are going to get us banned. I'm definitely, after that one time when I allowed, when I had to step away, I didn't realize that they were going to introduce President Trump so quickly, and I thought, oh, I have time. He's still in the He's still introducing, he's still talking. It was at, I think, one of the Wisconsin conventions, I think. And I thought I had time. I had to go do something real quick. It was like, oh, I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes, less than a minute. And I come back and they're halfway through God Bless the USA. And we got kicked off a D-Life for that. I don't want to be the one that gets that done again. So the common phrase explained, the phrase freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences, clarifies this difference. It highlights that while the government is constrained from punishing your speech, other entities and individuals are not. The core idea is that while your right to express yourself exists, the rights of others to respond to the expression or other private entities to set their own rules also exist. And I mean, was it, what is that, 203 or 223 that for, that they've been fighting in Congress, for how to regulate speech on social media? Hey, Michael J., did you get that email? Were you able to pull up my book and were you able to read it? Yes, it's Deb65. Michael J., have you been able to? Yeah. Still tracking it? Can I resend it? Okay, I'll try. Let me see. Okay. So for a station break, let's see. All right, I am going to send it to you. I'm gonna text. Hopefully, I'm gonna text it to you. Let's see. Let me see if I can go back. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta do this. Copy. I don't know. Yeah, I won't do that. Wee. Mm-hmm. And okay, okay, Michael, I just sent it again to you. So, I just sent it. I just resent it. Okay, so here we go. So here is. So this information is for those who are upset that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended for free speech. So during Obama's term, a YouTuber, Nicola was arrested for saying certain things against Islam. The arrest went on to incite violence in Benghazi. So I imagine that's talking about, that's the other thing I wanted to mention is, that Benghazi, how many people talked about Benghazi on September the 12th? With everything going on, people talking about, people got upset because, Melissa Hortman and her husband weren't recognized. There was the shooting that happened. There was the narrative quickly switched from the guy in North Carolina that slit the young lady's throat. I mean, everything, but did anybody mention about Benghazi, about September the 12th being about Benghazi? I think that kind of got shoved through the cracks too. That was an important event. Number two, Roseanne Barr made some comments and ended up losing her position on her own show on ABC after they got a call from President Obama and his wife, or his husband, all because of a joke she made, which they found offensive. The kid was being harassed because he supposedly wore blackface at a Kansas City game, but turned out that the kid had black on one side and red on the other side for this team. And then the left didn't like that, what Tucker Carlson said, and Chuck Schumer and the other Democrats demanded on video and writing letters to Fox to fire him. Millions of conservatives were censored or deplatformed from social media because of their free speech against the COVID vaccine. This includes our current president that was removed from Twitter. Number six, a kid was accused by CNN for supposedly laughing at an Indian. Remember Nick Sandman, at an Indian man, and it turned out that that guy was basically paid to be there. That got into his face, and the kid didn't say anything to him, but that didn't stop CNN from talking trash about the kid and the conservatives. They had to pay the kid millions for the lies. How about when Gina Carano was fired by Disney and the left celebrated all because she spoke how she felt about the vaccine? How about all the millions that lost their jobs because they wouldn't accept the vaccine, and the left talked trash and said they should be put in camps? And even Jimmy Kimmel said they should all die. Yes, you can watch that clip on video. And I could go on and on. The left only cares about free speech when it's only free speech they agree with, but sometimes they forget how they acted in the past few years against conservatives. One day, this tit for tat needs to stop on both sides, and everyone needs to come together as Americans. I can't say I disagree with that last statement, but I can't say I disagree with the last statement, but the problem is until you get those people to stop being funded, you probably see a lot of that go away too. And okay, so the last, all right, and to answer your question, Michael, let me see if I can pull it up here. So according to Kath's friend, she's doing better. Her liver is better, so she's off the vent, but she still needs prayers. Possibly the kidneys need to wake up. Basically, her friend, the Kath's friend's going to go see her, or we'll get to see her tomorrow. But what they need to do, because basically they had to put her on probably a catheter. She needs to have an outpour. Yeah, I'm trying to say it nicely, but she needs to show that her kidneys are functioning. So I think they use the term as waking up. So basically what it means is that she needs to have some fluid out. She needs to have her fluid. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I agree, rock and roll. But I really think that if like I said, get rid of the bot farms. Really shut down the bots and stop and shut down the funding to some of these. You probably see a lot less of this garbage out there. All right, so, okay. Zoom won't let me do that. So what I was saying, and I put this up on Saturday, but I want to share it again. Oh, I need to. Hey, Michael, did you hear about the body that was found at the Roslyn Hotel? And I guess it's in Hollywood or Burbank or something. Anyway, they found a body in the Roslyn Hotel that caught on fire. I don't know if you saw that or not. So I wanted to show this again real quick. Okay, fine. That's already 5:15 on my end. How about that? So this is what I mean about things are happening that we're getting distracted by. And this is just why I say I think the things are rolling up. So Monica Cannon Grant, founder of a Boston nonprofit, is to plead guilty in a federal fraud case. So this was actually on the 12th. So this was a week ago yesterday. So Monica Cannon Grant, the founder of the nonprofit Violence in Boston, plans to plead guilty to federal charges for defrauding people who donated to her organization. In a one-page document filed in federal court in Boston on Friday, Cannon Grant requested a change of plea hearing. Cannon Grant faces a 27-count indictment on charges including wire fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, making false statements, filing false tax returns, among other offenses. Federal investigators have alleged that Cannon Grant and her husband Clark Grant solicited and received over $1 million of donations and grants from individuals, charitable institutions, and other entities. The indictment alleged that Cannon Grant and her husband spent much of that money on themselves, including paying auto and insurance bills, extravagant nail salons trips, high-priced dinners, and a vacation to Maryland, among other financial transactions. The couple allegedly also received nearly $45,000 in panic-demic or scam-demic or pandemic relief funds into their charity's bank account, but spent much of that on themselves as well. Cannon Grant rose to fame after she organized protests and championed the Black Lives Matter movement in Boston in 2020 following the killing of George Floyd at the hands of the police. And of course, I mean, they've been trying to overturn that because we know that that was a setup. What? An active shooter? Man, a lot of active shooters. So here's something interesting. I found interesting about this. Her husband was later killed in a motorcycle crash in Easton in March of 2023. So she's been brought up on charges, but her husband was killed in 2023, and yet he is part of the lawsuit or the indictment. I wonder how long they have been under investigation. Wow. I don't know when Dana was in chat earlier. That's just something that I saw that Sunny had posted. So it's probably earlier, around what, 3 o'clock or so Eastern. So anyway, her husband, so 25 investigates indictments. So here we go with, I've got another one here. So I'm gonna delete that one since I've got it. I'll delete this too. No, that's not that one. Okay, here we go. So here's another indictment. So here we go with Mayor LaToya Cantrell asked. And I brought this up on Thursday afternoon too, because I came on with Soko. She was filling in for LC, and before she did her show and helping out Pam. Mayor LaToya Cantrell asked judge to go to Iceland. To go on Iceland vacation as corruption charges move forward. So Mayor LaToya Cantrell has asked a judge for permission to vacation in Iceland for a week as her federal corruption case plays out in New Orleans. Okay. Cantrell requested the trip after federal magistrate judge barred her last week from traveling abroad while the case was ongoing unless she is granted permission from the court. She would make the trip with the family members from October 7th to October 13th, according to a court filing by her attorney, Eddie Casting. The U.S. Attorney's Office and Cantrell's pre-trial service officer, wait a minute. And services officer raised no objections, the motion read. No, but here's the kicker. Look at this. The request comes after federal prosecutors in an August 15th indictment spotlighted a series of foreign and domestic trips the mayor took with former police bodyguard Jeffrey Vappy, with whom she is accused of having a romantic relationship. It also comes in the waning days of the second term in which Cantrell has faced withering criticism for her frequent travel to forums and conferences which cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. So let's get this straight. This woman is under indictment. So in the indictment, the prosecutors accused the mayor and Vappy of spending about $70,000 in taxpayer money on trips to Martha's Vineyard, Scotland, and Napa Valley. Later, Cantrell and Vappy are accused of lying and deleting evidence in what prosecutors describe as a conspiracy to conceal their alleged affair. I'm sure it wouldn't be a big deal about the affair if they weren't using taxpayer money. I'm pretty sure. The 18-count indictment charges Cantrell with wire fraud, where we heard that, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and lying to a federal grand jury. Both she and Vappy have pleaded not guilty and denied a romantic entanglement. Cantrell is set for a pre-trial hearing on March the 30th. Attorneys have said they expect her trial, which is currently scheduled for November 17th, to be delayed. So let me get this straight. She's under indictment for using taxpayer money to go to foreign countries and yet they're going to let her go on a vacation out of the country. Yeah, really, Iceland of all places. What do we know about Iceland? What do we know about Iceland? And they're okay with that. That's, if you ask me, that's just plain stupid. And they have no objections. Who's in Boston? Somebody better get in Boston, and she's the mayor, I mean, I don't think anybody cares if she had an affair as long. Oh, no, it's in New Orleans. Never mind. The other one is in Boston. This is New Orleans. Who's in Louisiana? I think the whole idea is, I mean, nobody would care if she was having an affair. It's the fact that taxpayer money is being used. Well, in their oh, I'm thinking Antarctica that people have been wondering about. Okay, I am going to, let me see. Okay. Oh, I know. Okay. Who all is in California? Here we come. So, let me look here. I'll get to that in a minute. Got an hour and a half. Maybe, I wonder if I should take a break. I don't know. Should I take a break or no? Seems like y'all are interested in the shooting and what Pam Bondi, or hopefully this will light a fire under Miss Pam. But if you're in California, and it's like I said Thursday, we're an equal opportunity here. So I've seen these commercials, right? This nurse is saying, President Trump, how does she puts it? She puts it, President Trump killed Roe v. Wade. No, he didn't. He put it back into the state's hands. He didn't kill Roe v. Wade. He put it back into the states. So, if we have any Californians, remember, here's Proposition, so this is the Proposition 50. And this isn't politics as usual. Donald Trump and Texas Republicans are making an unprecedented power grab to steal congressional seats and rig the 2026 election before voting even begins. Baloney. I mean, I may try to make a point. When you get rid of a couple of million illegals out of a state, wouldn't it make sense that you would want to redistrict or check the map and redo the map? Wouldn't you want to you know, although I don't understand the whole redistricting, I don't understand how that does anything. But other Republican states are following suit. They want to steal enough seats to control Congress regardless of how the people vote. If Californians don't act now, Donald Trump will seize control of power for more than 2 years. Well, think about this, though. In the 2020 election, it was like, I mean, what, California has, Michael, you can correct me, what, 54 counties, right? I know they got 54, they get 54 of the college, electoral college votes, but how many counties are in, I know Texas have 254, Texas has 254 counties, but the point is, how many of those counties voted or were blue? And then in 2024, how many were flipped? So what good does the redistricting really do? Talk about gerrymandering. So this is what they're really afraid of. Democracies, we're not democracy. That's the thing. Democracy is mob rule. That's what they're trying to. So California has a duty to defend democracy. To do that, I mean, we're not democracy. We can't unilaterally disarm or fight with both hands tied behind our backs. When Trump tries to rig elections, the thing is, the Democrats have been rigging elections for decades. We must fight back with every legal tool available. And it's not just the Democrats. Remember, it's not really it's the globalists that have been rigging the elections. You think you're voting for the best candidate that you feel like aligns with your values, but it's kind of like, okay, you run as a Democrat, we'll get you in, and then, we'll keep you in for 8 years, and then we'll, just to give the masses something to really think about, we'll go ahead and flip it and let the Republican win. But we're all on the same page. We're gonna bring in the New World Order. So let's see. This measure draws fair maps that represent California's diverse communities and ensure our voices aren't silenced by Republican gerrymandering in other states. So California, from what I understand, California has to have an independent company committee to redistrict, and they've already done that, right? They've already done that. And yet they want to do it again, but they don't want to use an independent committee. So according to this, Prop 50 levels the playing field. It makes sure the 2026 midterm elections are conducted on a level playing field without an unfair advantage for Republicans. You know what? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Just divide. I mean, why does it even have to be divided on party lines? Just go by why not just go by the lines of your district, not districts, but lines of your, the county lines? I mean, I don't get it. I do not get it. If you're talking to me, real praying mantis, can you remind me what video it was? I don't remember. I don't even know if I still have it or not, to be honest. So commits to fair redistricting. Prop 50 reaffirms California's commitment to independent redistricting and calls on all states to commit to fair and impartial maps. That's what they say, but it's a bunch of bull hockey. Give voters the power. Prop 50 puts the power in the hands of the people of California to approve emergency congressional district maps. Fair and proportional. Prop 50 provides emergency maps only because Republicans move forward for their power grab. It's temporary. These maps expire in 2030. Prop 50 preserves California's award-winning redistricting reforms and reaffirms the California Redistricting Commission's, that's right, redistricting, I call it a committee, but it's a commission, authority to draw congressional districts after the next census. When is anything ever temporary with politicians? Social Security was supposed to be temporary too. It was supposed to help the economy after World War II. Where are we? 80 years later, we're still using Social Security. So this is our coalition. So look who's on this coalition committee. Newsom. Remember Padilla, who went into, was it Kristi Noem's? He barged into Kristi Noem's press conference. Was it Kristi Noem or Tulsi Gabbard? I agree. Tennessee Walker. Shifty Schiff. Jeffries. Pelosi. Labor Union. Teachers Association. Planned Parenthood. I tell you what, anything for Planned Parenthood supports, I would say, no way, Jose. Of course, you got the California Democratic Party. And so look at this. You got the Arab Resource Organization Center, Aspire, Black Women Organize, Black Women, California LULAC, California Now, Climate Action Campaign, Central Valley Immigrant Integration Collaborative, Equality California, NAACP. So, I mean, come on. San Diego LGBT Community Center. Youth Save Democracy PAC. I've never heard of this one. Tom Homan LGBTQ Plus Law Association. Well, that's a new one. I don't know. And then, here's California Hawaii State Conference, South Asian Network. So here are your coalition. Here are those people that are supporting that. And since we are, like I said, an equal opportunity, we're going to give the counter to that. That is yes on Proposition 50. So we have no Reformation California. All right. I mean, look at what they're doing. They want to, I brought this up, they want to mask ICE. They signed a bill to mask ICE. I mean, their whole idea was law enforcement now has to be have to be unmasked to do their job. It's like, okay, I don't think you're going to be able to mask ICE since ICE is federal. So I don't think that's going to happen. So Carl DeMayo, and he is actually, from what I remember and what I've read, he is actually a Democrat walking away from. Yeah, I agree. Planned Parenthood, a creative name for money laundering. Wouldn't that be nice if they did, Michael? Oh, you're talking about Michael. Never mind. You're talking about Michael. So Carl DeMayo, I think he's actually a Democrat who decided to walk away from the Democratic Party. My concern about all these Democrats who say they're walking away from the Democratic Party and going to start vote with the Republican Party, are they really changing to Republican? Or, I mean, do they still believe in things like abortion? Do they still believe like illegal immigration, which is basically slavery? I mean, you may not put them on a block like they did back in the 1800s. And if you really go back to the Pilgrims, the United States did not did not recognize slave trade. They actually, the Pilgrims, when they first came to the United States back in 1620, 1619, they actually arrested the slave traders and set the slaves free. Slavery did not come until later. So anyway, so Carl DeMayo and Reform California are leading the fight to defeat Proposition 50, and your help is needed in the fight. Newsom and California politicians have called a costly special election on November 4th to redraw the state's congressional maps at a cost to taxpayers of more than $200 million, even as California is facing a $20 billion, and that's a $1 billion budget deficit that cuts priorities like public safety and emergency response. And I've been bringing it up because in Pottersville, Newsom, from what I understand, and I've heard some of the farmers in Pottersville are talking about, Newsom wants to open up the dam over in that area, which would basically it would basically dry up any kind of land for the farmers there. And what would happen is their cattle's going to die, their crops are going to die because they can't water anything. So they're basically they're out to kill us. They are out to kill us. Proposition 50 will put the politicians in the state legislature in charge of those maps. So that's what they're wanting to do. They want to take it out of the independent redistricting commission and put it back into the state of California. I mean, the state of California is overrun with the Democrats. I mean, the stupidity. Assembly Bill 495 that basically says that anybody can go online. All they need to do is sign this piece of paper, and they can go and pick up anybody's kids from school or daycare. And they're saying it's to protect the kids from from ICE, but it's really a way for them to just anybody can take your kid. They don't even have to show ID. They don't have to get any permission from the parents. Hello. I mean, right now with the way the school system, the system is set up, we can't release a child unless the person is on the form. The name is on the form, and they have to give permission. The parents have to give permission to be released. Of course, the exception is school year. Usually, as the school year goes, you get to know who the parents are, so you don't have to show ID every single time because you know them. But after a while, if someone new comes up, you got to have, you got to show permission. So defeating Prop 50 would keep the current system approved by a citizens' initiative that requires an independent redistricting commission to draw election districts in a strictly nonpartisan manner. Proposition 50 takes the redistricting power away from citizens and gives that power back to the politicians so they can manipulate the lines of election districts for their own personal political benefit. As proof of how corrupt Newsom and California politicians are on this issue, Prop 50 has a false title, deceptively worded to suggest to voters that a yes vote would keep the independent citizens redistricting commission, when in fact yes vote eliminates the citizens from the process and hands the power back to the politicians. That's what they always do. That's what they always do. They make it where yes is a no vote and a no is a yes vote, So, like, for instance, when Texas, when they put it on the ballot to ban Texas from ever having a state income tax. Well, the way it was worded, if you voted no, you were agreeing to keep Texas from having a state income tax. If you voted yes, you wanted Texas to have a state income tax. And of course, a majority of people in Texas don't want a state income tax. I know people who thought that Texas needed a state income tax. Well, guess what? In the 50s and the 60s, not the 50s, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, we actually had a surplus. So that's what they do. Well, Newsom and California Democrats say Prop 50 is a response to Trump and Texas redistricting. California shouldn't retaliate and sacrifice its integrity by ending fair elections. The truth is, California politicians have always opposed the independent Citizens Redistricting Commission that was imposed on them in 2010. Now they are using their hatred of Trump as the window dressing to fool voters into grabbing the power back from the people. Join the fight to defend fair elections in California. On November the 4th, vote no on Proposition 50. 5 top reasons to vote no on Prop 50. Number 1, allows politicians to seize power from citizens. Hands the power back to politicians to rig the system by drawing districts safe for their cronies and guaranteeing their re-election. That's not democracy, that's entrenchment. No, we shouldn't be, democracy should not be even in our vocabulary. Democracy is not in the Constitution, it's not in the Bill of Rights. Democracy is definitely mob rule. It's just another step to socialism and communism. And it's crazy that people don't see that. Number 2, permits corrupt backroom deals. Well, they do that anyway. Instead of a bipartisan group of citizens drawn from everyday Californians drawing the district lines over a year with public hearings and input, Sacramento politicians rushed Prop 50's map through the state legislature in just 1 week with new districts that only benefit their own career. So they're saying that they've already got a map drawn. So if Prop 50 goes through, I feel like I'm yelling. Sorry, I feel like I'm yelling. But I mean, they've already got it. The map is already there. They're already ready to put it in place. And like I said, how is it that it's going to make that big of a difference? I don't get it. If over half of the state the counties in California flip from blue to red, what makes them think that the red is going to flip back to blue? The only way they can do that is that they cheat again, like they always do. And let's not forget, I mean, I have personal experience on what they did in the 2024 election. I went in there, I went to the clerk's office. I did it on I don't think I did it on election day. No, I did it on the last day of early voting. I went in there, I had my driver's license, I actually put it on the counter. The lady, all she did, she asked me if I had gone to the DMV. I said no. She asked me, I think, for my social security number. I gave her my social security number. She typed whatever into the computer. She handed me an affidavit. Basically, I said, I am who I am. I'm living where I'm living. This is, and of course, but she never checked my ID. There was no ID check. She asked me if I wanted to vote in the election. I said, well, if possible. And she handed me a paper ballot because at the time I thought, well, paper ballot would probably be better. Now I'm wondering if I shouldn't have done the machine because I don't know if my vote was counted. When I got my, a couple of weeks later, when I got my, Powder Girl, is some of it is I can't hear feedback on my computer. I can't hear the feedback in my microphone, so I can't tell if y'all can hear me or not. So that's what happens when you're going deaf too. You try to. Oh my. And it seems like everybody's, the other thing is too, it seems like everybody's losing interest, so I've got to yell so I can try to keep people's interest too. So, that's the other thing, from what I can see. So I'm trying to keep people's interest, but apparently it's not working. Anyway, number 3, wastes $200 million on a costly special election, spends $200 million on a costly special election while California is facing a $20 billion budget deficit that cuts priorities like public safety and emergency services. Eliminates fair, number 4, eliminates fair and competitive districts. Allows gerrymandering, which proportionately harms communities of color, reduces competitive elections, and erodes accountability. Strips constitutional protections that currently ensures communities and are kept whole, that maps are not drawn to favor political parties or incumbents. 5, not temporary, will be permanent. Just like temporary in quotes, taxes, fees, and regulations, once politicians have power, they never give it back to the people. Letting Sacramento politicians temporarily kill off a piece of democracy sets a dangerous precedent that could be used by future politicians to undermine constitutional safeguards. So, answer to what about Texas? Gerrymandering districts by politicians is never okay, whether here in Texas or anywhere else. We believe Texas and all states should adopt California's independent citizens redistricting model. While we might not like what Texas is doing, California shouldn't retaliate and sacrifice its integrity. California must rise above partisan games and protect fair, competitive elections without resorting to gerrymandering. So there is that. And so with that being said, maybe I need to take some time. And don't spend the small stuff. Everything is small, right? Okay, I did that. So I'm gonna do this real quick. So while we were talking about earlier about Charlie Kirk, did y'all see this? Anybody catch this? Gotta get this. Okay, this is from Breitbart. So report, Texas high school parents are group doxing teens organizing Turning Point USA chapter. Jeez. So in Houston, a conservative Harris County parents group reported that a left-leaning group published the social media content of high school students who are organizing a Turning Point USA chapter in the Spring Branch School District. The leftist group Be the Change SBISD reportedly sent messages to its more than 700 members calling for action against sponsoring teachers and the students. So here we go. This goes back to the other side of the spectrum where they are doxing. How often have you heard of, whether you call it conservative, right-leaning? I mean, have you ever heard, has anybody heard of a right-leaning group doxing other people? It always seems like it's the other side of the spectrum of the aisle, right? And I mean, they're doxing kids. They're putting the children in harm's way. So the Harris County chapter of Moms for Liberty, and by the way, the Democrats want to call Moms for Liberty a terrorist organization. Go figure. Posted a report on social media saying that TPUSA Club America high school chapter members were doxxed by adults by publishing their social media content to the members in an apparent attempt to keep the school district from allowing their club to meet. The Moms for Liberty group identified the left-leaning group as Be the Change SBISD Spring Branch Independent School District. Stratford high school teens forming a TPUSA Club America were doxxed by adults sharing students' internal GroupMe content. I mean, it's a GroupMe. If anybody has a GroupMe account, you know that you basically, oh, I didn't want to do that. You basically have to be invited into this group. It's a private group. It's kind of like Signal, you know, that whole Signal bit. So, internal group me content and a Be the Change private Facebook group urging 730 members operating in secrecy to also intimidate teacher sponsors. Reprehensible. These are kids. And so the Be the Change group allegedly infiltrated a private chat group, published their contents to its members. Their group falsely alleged that the murder of Charlie Kirk resulted from a dispute between far-right entities led by Nick Fuentes. Go figure. Given the famous founder having recently been murdered by an individual motivated by an interpersonal rivalry, where did they get that? Nick Fuentes or Charlie Kirk being the better far-right activist. I don't know why they call him an activist. He really wasn't an activist. He was just a person trying to have a discussion. And, you know, whether, I don't know, whether he was funded or not, I don't know. It is, let's see, it is very risky for students to bring that kind of potential inflammatory rivalry into school halls, especially with the rate of school shootings in the United States. Well, whatever, I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, our biggest rivalry were different, you know, playing football, and the rivalries were so bad that, you know, we had to have police escorts. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's like, seems like every time, it doesn't matter where you're at. It seems like you're going to have there's going to be at least two schools that are going to be butting heads all the time, and you know where it does get to the point where, you know, it's like some of that I blame on the parents because I mean, my grandson, you know, with my grandson and I mean his football team, some of the parents are just, if you ask me, they're just pretty awful. They, I mean, the coach, the head coach, got suspended for a week for something that a parent did in a group chat, and the parents, instead of cheering on their kids, their boys, at that particular game that the coach was suspended and couldn't be there for the kids, they stayed silent. They wouldn't motivate the kids. That to me is just, you're hurting your kids when you do that. Not only, I mean, you don't have to like the fact that the coach got suspended and for something so stupid because of another parent, but to stay silent, you're hurting your own kids when you do that. So guys, I am putting my it's already 6 o'clock. I got another hour to go, but I'm putting out my Rumble account, my whatchamacallit, my YouTube, so if somebody can put it on the other platforms, I greatly appreciate it. And like I was telling Erin earlier, I don't know what's going to happen with the, because my daughter, we're supposed to be in the next month, and then within the next year, we're supposed to be getting ready to move from California. Don't know when exactly. Her rotation's coming up, but so we don't know. I mean, we have an idea where we're supposed to be going. We just don't know when yet. And so, anywho, let's see. So a highlight of the article references people in the Be group, Be the Change Facebook group, and includes this information. These activists have been working in our school district for a while. let's see, I'm going to read this tweet. So apparently it is funded by George Soros Open Society. So board of directors, can't see the whole thing. Yeah, another move. So I'm looking at this. Okay, this is Texas scoreboard. So that doesn't look like it's, but the company was the recipient of a $1 million from George Soros Open Society Policy Center. Amin Mitha also made a $2,000 contribution to Families for Every Child PAC from Lakeland, Florida. Despite the fact that Families for Every Child purports to represent parents and SBISD. So the group appears to be calling for censorship of the students and stopping their constitutional rights of freedom of speech and assembly. Interestingly, the group tagged one of the TPUSA club sponsors as a censorship advocate. And then it just says the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution states Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or of the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress or grievances. So the group went on to cite multiple Charlie Kirk's quotes as an example of speech that should not be allowed on the Stanford high school campuses. And of course, you probably know that they probably took all the contents out of, all the quotes out of context. I sent my YouTube link. I'll try it again. They probably took it out of context, like they always do. I've actually seen some people say that, even if it was in context, it was going to be anti-whatever. And I'm like, read the whole exchange, don't just... They called for their members to send a letter with your own words to these two teachers, their students in actual education. The organizer pledged to email her own comments to the group, presumably as an example of what they should say, quote, in their own words. So they incorporated the Trojan mascot and Charlie's likeness. Can we all pray that we can get a teacher sponsor so they are able to be an official club? Since Kirk's assassination on September 10th, TPUSA chapter membership has exploded on college and high school campuses across the country. University of San Antonio chapter president Jack Harrell recently told Breitbart, Texas's Randy Clark, that his chapter membership doubled in 5 days. That's because I think kids are looking for peaceful resolution or peaceful exchange of ideas. They're tired of being told that sit in the back, your voice doesn't matter. I mean, I have to be careful what I say at work. I hope I deleted that. I can't show, I can be conservative up to a certain point. I have to stay out of politics, basically. I don't talk politics at work. And you know what? It shouldn't, you shouldn't, sometimes I think that, talking politics is not a good idea at work. You know, does it really, you know, talking about the news is one thing, but talking politics? So I want to go ahead and get a couple of, I also did this one Thursday morning because this Tony Gonzales, I don't know what to think of Tony Gonzales, because Tony Gonzales of 20 midterm election, and I was really on the side of Frank Lopez Jr., who was he was a third generation Border Patrol agent. He had over 30 years at the Border Patrol, and he spoke against Tony Gonzales. In fact, during election night, he was one of those, he had like, oh, I don't remember the exact number, but interesting enough, he lost like 5,000 or 6,000 voters in the middle of the night at some point in time until Tony Gonzales, because what am I trying to say? Tony Gonzales ended up winning the election. The other thing is he was one of the things that Frank Lopez Jr. was pointing out about Tony Gonzales. Not only was he really close to the NGOs, but he was also he was using his, I guess he has a private jet. I don't know, alleged. Okay, I'm saying this is alleged. Allegedly, he was using a private jet for these illegal aliens. He was either housing them at an airport with a jet that he used or something. Anyway, I could be wrong about that, exactly what was going on, but it was something to do with the jet and illegals, and he was helping sponsoring. So anyway, so I thought, I mean, you know, it's always, you know, I don't rejoice in anybody getting hurt or anybody's death, so I'm not rejoicing in any of this, but I thought it was important to understand because Tony Gonzales lately has shown more of his Republican. He's been supporting more of the Republican agenda. So he's been more of an outspoken Republican. I know John Cornyn has tried to too, but John Cornyn is, no. His, I don't know if he can be redeemed. So Congressional staffer died after catching fire, family member says. Representative Tony Gonzales Heart-Stricken. So Regina Santos Avalos, 35, died Sunday after an incident at her home the previous night's record showed. So this is in Uvalde, Texas. Now, what happened a few years ago in Uvalde? Does anybody remember? A congressional staffer for the U.S. Representative Tony Gonzales died after catching fire, a family member confirmed to KSAT Investigates Wednesday. Uvalde police confirmed they are investigating the death along with the Texas Rangers. Uvalde Regional District Director Regina Santos Aviles, 35, died early Sunday after a Saturday night incident at her home on Geraldine Avenue in Uvalde. Police report obtained by KSAT Investigate shows. Paramedics, firefighters, and police responded to Santos Avila's home around 9:30 p.m. Saturday for a disturbance, according to UPD call sheet. Close family member told KSAT Investigates Wednesday a relative called emergency services after finding After finding Santos Avalos on fire outside of her home. So this whole thing is so fishy from the beginning. The family member said Santos Avalos was airlifted to San Antonio Medical something. I bet the C stands for center. Something medical in San Antonio to be treated for extensive burns. A Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office employee confirmed Santos Avalos was pronounced dead just after 6:30 a.m. Sunday. The ME's office was still investigating the cause and manner of her death on Wednesday. In a phone interview with KSAT, the family member was adamant that Santos Avalos' death was an accident, adding that there was a water hose outside of the home. Her last words were, "I don't want to die," the family member said. Santos Avalos, whose family member's nickname Reggie was described as full of love. They said she loved being able to help people and communities through her job. Family members told KSAT investigators she was a great wife and mother to her young son. In a statement to KSAT, Uvalde Police Chief Homer Delgado called Santos Avalos' death a tragic loss. He did not provide details of the incident, but noted there was no indication of foul play. They always say that. I mean, come on. I mean, there's something, I don't know what, but there's something, it just doesn't sit right with me. So we are all heart-stricken by the recent news, said Representative Gonzales in a statement to KSAT Investigates. Regina devoted her profession toward making a difference in her community. She will always be remembered for her passion towards Uvalde and helping the community become a better place. According to Santos Avalos' LinkedIn page and previous media reports, she left her position as an executive director of the Uvalde Area Chamber of Commerce in November 2021 to serve as the regional director for Representative Gonzales' office in Uvalde. KSAT also reached out to the Texas Rangers and the Uvalde Volunteer Police Fire Department for comment, and will update the story when we hear back. So, like I said, there's just something, I don't know. Was she a target for a reason? Was she, was it... There's just something that I find odd. No details. How, was there a party going on? Did something happen? Just, it's just weird. And let's see. I'm going to call this the weird stuff in the news. I think this is the weird, interesting things. I think that, down an FBI pro caught. I wonder if it was a sting. It looks like the world's going nuts. Is it something? Is it a sting? Was he being set up? Who? The world's going crazy, crazy, crazy. So I don't know who this guy is, but apparently he is an R&B singer. I don't know if y'all saw this or not. see if I can get it a little bit bigger. So this singer D4vid, or like David, his name is Allen, David Allen, but he uses the 4. So the Houston singer D4VD canceled the rest of his U.S. tour amid an investigation into a 15-year-old girl's body found in a car registered to him. Fox 2610 Redford shares the latest details, confirms details, and speculation from social media. Oh, come on. Are you telling me you're not going to let me? I hate when they do that. I don't want to play the video. I want to read it. Oh, I hate when they did that because it came. Oh, booey. Alright. It's only like a minute long. But I hate to play videos on these things. I thought it was a article. I didn't know it was a.
Now online,
okay.
It's a story many people are is impounded in law. A young that David.
Oops, looks like I'm not going to be able to do it anyway. Oh, gosh. Anyway, so apparently this girl, she may have been a runaway or something. Anyway, she kind of disappeared in what, about a year or so? I don't know. Been a couple of months or something. And so, I don't want to. Anyway, she apparently, apparently he had been questioned before, and now, or something with a girlfriend. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's buffering. So here's another weird. This is the news of the weird. So it's like, who is this guy? Alright, so a man killed. Hello. Alright. Let's see. Agree and join Fox San Antonio. So a man killed by falling jet engine identified as inventor David Monroe, founder of SAMSAT. So San Antonio, a lifelong inventor and science educator, is being remembered for his dedication and leadership after his tragic death on Friday. On Saturday, Port San Antonio identified the worker who was tragically crushed by a falling jet engine as David Allen Monroe, founder of the San Antonio Museum of Science and Technology. Monroe died on Friday around 4:30 p.m. at the Boeing Techport Center. Oh, come on. After attempting to help a co-worker move the jet engine onto a dolly Can you see that okay? I am getting a, yeah, I can. I don't want to sign up for the newsletter. Let's see. Tried reaching for something. The dolly began rolling and knocked him back off the deck. The engine then fell on top of him, killing him. San Antonio police officers called it a freak workplace accident. A lifelong inventor, entrepreneur, and science educator, Port San Antonio remembers Monroe as a force for good who transformed countless lives. So the quote, David was a force for good who transferred countless lives, he texted Port San Antonio in a statement. To the port team, he was a friend and partner who inspired us, and through his beloved SAMSAT and a museum team work, or San Antonio Museum something. Science and technology. Museum team worked hand in hand in a shared vision to make the world a better place. Tens of thousands of people, youngsters and adults alike, he was a tireless leader, deeply committed to providing opportunities for lifelong learning. He sparked the people's imagination, encouraged their curiosity, and presented innovative and exciting ways to acquire new knowledge and prepare for big futures ahead. His profile loomed large in our community and across the world for his many accomplishments in the advancement of transformative technologies. Most of all, we remember him for his constant positive energy, his good humor, and ever humble nature. He led by example and saw the good in every person in the world around him as a place of endless possibilities. So David Monroe is remembered by his family, those he worked with, and those he taught as a prolific inventor, a driven entrepreneur, and a person passionate about the sciences and design. Let's see. David Monroe, founder of the San Antonio Museum of Science and Technology, after a long career with the main goal of filling the void of science education as San Antonio as the largest city in the country without a dedicated science and technology museum. Monroe is credited with making significant contributions to personal computers. Oh, here we go. What's been in the news lately? AI, the microchips, other things, other computer-related, technology stuff. So Monroe is credited with making significant contributions to personal computers and mobile computing, especially with regard to microprocessors, wireless networks, data imaging, pioneering wireless video transmission. He was 72 years old. So, what do y'all think, Chad? This is what I mean. There are other things happening that, should we be focusing? I don't know. So I can't get I can't get those links that y'all are putting out there. That's the thing. With the DLive on my phone, I can't get those links. So I got about 30 more minutes. So everybody, thank you for being here. I'm going to put out my links again if you can. If you would like to follow me on other platforms, I do a Bible study. I haven't really since I have been working my half days. My days start in the mornings with my grandson, and then taking my grandson to school and then having to, I basically get back in enough time to pretty much, I pretty much just, you know, I have just a couple of hours to come back and before I have to get ready to go to work, so I haven't been able to do much as far as well, I will definitely have it, Heidi. I will have it on Rumble and YouTube for those who like YouTube better than Rumble. I will definitely have the link. I'll have the videos. I'll have the show archived, and I'll put it up there at the end. In the meantime, if I know there's a lot of hurting people. Gosh, what did I? I just realized something. I need to go back and look at some of my posts. But I know a lot of people are hurting right now. But anyway, and you can also see my Thursday morning. I do try to do a live Rumble show on Thursdays too, so, or sometimes. Anyway, I think, if I can, I think I might just close out the show with some, anybody want some music? I need to update my playlist and get some more stuff coming, because right now when I lost my, what did I lose? When I lost, when Pocket, let's see, was it Pocket? Yeah, when Pocket decided they weren't going to do much of anything anymore, or if they were shutting down, Pocket decided to shut down. I lost all my playlists, and so I'm having to build up my library. I had all those things in the library. So I end up playing a lot of the same songs. Or maybe. Or maybe I can, well, if I can find something. So I tell you what, everybody, from now to the end of the year is going to be, it's going to be interesting. You know, as we always say, just keep alert. You know, if you see something, say something. Just keep alert. Everything. You know, and also I'm going to say this. This is not the fan noise. Oh, I didn't even think about the fan. I didn't even think about the fan. But what was I gonna say? Just I'm gonna say this. This isn't gonna be very popular, but don't believe everything you see out there on media. Limit to what you're watching. And the reason why I say this is because it can bog you down. It can bog you down. And so just try to limit to what you look at, what you see. Every I'm telling you, not everything we see is, and I've been saving this for months. Is, there's lie, there's truth. It's everything. There's one side's truth and the other side's truth, and somewhere in the middle is, and then you have the real truth is something in the middle. So, I wanted to play Lefty's Losing It, but that would take too long. So I just might keep doing, I just may keep going ahead and doing songs for the rest of the, next few weeks. Next few weeks I probably won't be here on Saturdays. We got four more. We got four more of the regular football season, and it's like I explained earlier a few weeks ago. Since my grandson's in a different age group, he's basically moved up to freshman. So since he's in a different age group, they're having their games are like later in the afternoon, and depending on how far away, it's really hard, when you have a game starting at 12, ending up at 2, and you're an hour away, it's hard to get on the show, especially when you're, in my time zone, the show starts at 4. So it's hard to do that, or if it's at 2 o'clock, and his last 2 games, believe it or not, are going to be during my show time, but so we have at least 5 more games left, 4 for regular season and 1 for, we got at least 1 game for the playoffs. So depending on how they do in the playoffs, it's going to determine how many more games we got. So most of my shows are going to be strictly in Thursday mornings, Thursday mornings. For me, it starts at Wednesday evening, so I get my days mixed up really quickly. So, and before you know it, it is going to be time for Christmas. Everybody ready for Christmas? Everybody ready for the new year? It's like I said, I just wish we could have. I just want the big rest. I think a lot of people are. I used to be one of those that sits there, hey guys, we want to get it done right. And yeah, I do. I want it done right. But how much longer are we, is President Trump going, how much longer is President Trump going to be able to keep his fan base? There are people that are just battle-weary. That's all there is to it. This war has been going on longer than World War II, World War I, and the American Revolution. If you combine all of those, this thing has been going on longer than that. At least it seems like it. So, Dano had to step away. Poe is still around. He's usually early morning, so anyhow, I don't see him on Saturdays, but apparently he's on Saturday evenings. So like I said, he's early mornings. So oops, I almost forgot to share. Hello. All right. Let's get this going full screen.
different voice, and we love with a tender heart, and we give with open arms. I believe, every step that I take is my freedom that you can take away. I believe in all the blood, sweat, and tears shed to give to the world all these years. We cry for heroes we lose in the fight, for freedom to choose, and they die with honor and dignity. So fly your flag way up high. I believe every step that I take is my freedom that you can take away. I believe in all the blood, sweat, and tears shed to give to the world all these years. We love with a tender heart, and we give with open arms. I believe every step that I take is my freedom that you can take away. I believe every step that I take is my freedom that you can take away. I believe in all the blood, sweat, and tears shed to give to the world all these
Oh yeah, it was somebody's birthday. Air Force, Coast Guard. I mean, I keep missing these. The different. Gosh, I can't remember what. I can't remember. Let's see. Hold on a second. I can't remember what. Got 15 minutes. Let's do. I can't remember, but I think it was Coast Guard or Air Force this week. So I can't remember the birthday. I mean, we get so caught up, just like with what happened, and people. I mean, we forgot about Benghazi. How many people talked about Benghazi last week? You know, because there's so much of a distraction that I think people forgot about certain events. So I like this song, so we're gonna do this song too.
One spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind and turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. One people, one voice. A song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Okay, let's see. What's our next one we can go out with? We got okay, come on. Before you do another one on me. Let's see, where is that one? I don't want to do that one. Let's see. Oh, come on. Where is it? Okay. All right. We got just a few more minutes, and it will be up. Oh, here we go. And it will be one Mr. Chris Moore with Your Voice, Your Call, and friends. So let's go. Let's go out with a bang. Wait a minute, I can't do that. Hold on. All right, let me share. Come on, you share, alike. Hello there. It's all right, everybody. Thank you for being here, chat. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed what I brought to the table. All right, let's go.
Is true, is
All right, and with that, I will turn it over to Chris Moore. Hey, Chris.
What's going on, Deb? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
All right, keep your head on a swivel. It's going to get hot out there. See you next time.